Right, good evening, members. Good evening. Please, Councillor Shonk, thank you.
Sorry about that, young man.
That's all right. You know, I like you. You call me young man, all you like. Welcome to this full council meeting of Ramsgate Town Council, and welcome to anybody who's looking online and watching. Hope you enjoy as much as we do. Members, may I ask you to turn your mobile phones off or onto silent, please, so we don't have any disturbance. As I was in a meeting this morning and forgot, and mine went off, which was quite funny. But okay, members. Right, item 1, apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Young, who's unwell, and Councillor Hetherington, who has a personal commitment.
Thank you. I think apart from that, we all here? Maybe. Item 2, declarations of interest. Members, any declaration of interest on the items on the agenda this evening? No, thank you. Item 3, public participation. We have none. No one wants to come to speak. And part 2 of that is report from county councillors on matters directly relating to Ramsgate. So, Councillor Chong, have you anything that you would like to advise us upon?
Busy, but like I said, on the last minutes, if there's anything really of importance, if it's written to me, I should sort it out. It's ongoing, everything at the moment. You know, the pothole situation around Ramsgate.
Yes, indeed.
Some bad, but...
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Well, item 4, minutes of council meetings. To approve the minutes of council meeting held on the 25th of February 2026, and only questions of record may be considered. Members, anybody got any comment or anything, questions in relation to those minutes? Take that as a big no then. So I propose acceptance of the minutes. Seconder, Councillor Nixie. All in favour, please show. That's carried. Thank you. At this rate, we'd be gone by 7:30. No, we won't. Item 5, finances, including grants. Item 1 of 5, to note the payments to note and authorise for the month of March will be presented at April's council meeting. This is because there are a lot of transactions right up until the 31st of March, which is, as we know, the end of the financial year, and it is not possible to give a final list at this council meeting, so that's just for members to note. Item 2 of 5, to delegate authority to the town centre and tourism manager in respect of expenditure under the following budgets: active stroke culture stroke heritage Ramsgate, visit Ramsgate website, active Ramsgate week, and visit Ramsgate marketing.
Thank you.
Do you want to do anything?
So currently the communications and marketing officer has delegated powers of expenditure relating to active Ramsgate. So active Ramsgate is going to become, the budgets are going to become active culture heritage Ramsgate, and which also includes active Ramsgate week. Communications and marketing officer is no longer going to be the proper officer for the town promotion committee. It's going to be the town centre and tourism manager. And so I'd like to ask for that delegated power of expenditure to be transferred from Mr. Williams to Mrs. Smith. Although I have taken the opportunity to add in the Visit Ramsgate website updates and Visit Ramsgate marketing, which I think make a lot of sense for Mrs. Smith to have under her powers of expenditure, so that she doesn't have to keep coming to me for items within that budget.
Members, any comments?
No.
Councillor Green, did you want to? I see your hand kind of went up and went down again, but I wasn't sure.
No, I was just going to say this is new, that was all.
Yeah, me too. So, members, okay with that?
Yeah.
So I'll propose acceptance of that. A seconder, Councillor Austin. All in favour, please show. That's carried. Thank you. Item 6, Eurovision Song Contest event. And this is to receive a written report from the Town Clerk and Mrs R. Smith, the Town Centre Tourism Manager, detailing a possible Eurovision Song Contest event to support the UK's entrant and Ramsgate resident Sam Battle and consider how to proceed. So I'm going to hand you over to Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair.
Just take you through.
As members will be aware that local resident Sam Battle, under the name Look Mum No Computer, will be representing the UK in the Eurovision Song Contest. And this is not somebody who's lived in Ramsgate at some point. This is a current local resident and his family live here.
And next neighbour. Going to become famous as well.
And I'm aware that as soon as this was announced, there was talk about, well, do we want to do something in Ramsgate to celebrate this? And nothing was going to happen if the event management paperwork wasn't submitted. So I approved the Town Centre and Tourism Manager to put in an event application just to get through that hurdle. And the proposal that was put in was for a large screen public showing of the Eurovision Song Contest to take place outside. The benefit of outside is that it promotes trade for the businesses along Harbour Parade, but also if in the event of rain, you encourage people to go into the businesses. But although we've submitted the event management application paperwork, which cost £280, to put on the type of event that we think that residents and you would like, to be aware that requires about an £11,000 budget, and that's broken down and expanded upon here, which is a budget that currently doesn't exist. So tonight you're asked to consider, would the Town Council like to put on an event and fund it, which I think would potentially come from the new projects budget. And then it's as per the proposal within the report. But also there's another option that's come in the last couple of days, and which is being considered by the Ellington Park committee members, is whether there be an event at Ellington Park. Their only concern is whether they get noise complaints.
I was going to say, that's my first question.
I think there is a particular resident who in the past has raised noise complaints with them. So it's whether the council wants to lead on an event, and whether it's down here or, if possible, progress something at Ellington Park.
Councillor Nixon, you got you.
I think we've got to be aware of the timing of the Eurovision. As a girl who watches it every year, it doesn't finish till 12 o'clock. And so, as much as I'm up for an outside venue, and it is in May, so that's not always warm, but it's warmer than this, obviously, I'm not really sure that an outside venue is the best option, because it doesn't start till late. You've got 26 countries, and then you've got a long wait, and then you've got all the judging, so we're just watching the songs or what have you. So is there an alternative? And I'm up for doing something. I think it's brilliant, and well done, Sam Battle, for doing all the best. I'm really keen, but I'm not I'm not sure an outside venue is a good idea.
It's with awareness of the long periods where there's scoring coming in. The suggestion was if there was a compare who was trying to organise activities and something in the lungs.
Yeah, it's a long night. It's a long night. It's a good 4 hours.
Members, anybody else? Councillor Crittenden?
Yeah, I mean, very much in line with what Councillor Nix is saying, it is a long event. One of the things that, obviously I have had some preliminary conversations with the Town Clerk in order to get the first part kicked off. However, one of the things that does occur to me is it's rather like when you have those things called football matches, I think they are. You know, the pubs are showing them all over the place, and I'm just wondering, I imagine Wetherspoons down the road is likely to have... No?
I don't think they do.
They don't show football.
Okay, well that's kind of, yeah. Well, I don't frequent Wetherspoons particularly. I just happen to be aware that it exists. So, no. So I suppose I'm just wondering, you know, how much would we lose attention outside in that time to other places? And you've obviously also mentioned Ellington Park. So it was just really. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer. It's just raising it as a thought. That's all.
Nobody's sitting outside in the cold till 12 o'clock at night on a May night waiting for it. You know, there's that aspect of it as well, isn't it?
I think, you know, personally, you know, when, you know, I basically had the same idea as Rebecca did, and so Rebecca had been out talking to businesses and everything like that, you know, so she got her act together straight away when that was announced. So the consideration, and I think it'd be great for Ramsgate, and I think it'd be great for this council to put it on. I'm not. If it doesn't go on, it's not an issue, is it? Because it wasn't going to happen anyway. But I think out of the two places, each place has got its own value for whether it was held in the park, but then it's got some problems with that. Here, it's better because we did road closure. That could be people be out in the street and they've got places to go into. The toilet, we have to put toilets on anyway. We have to do that. I did have a chat as I was with the leader of the Southern Council this morning in the harbour, and he said, he actually said these words to me, where it's a big city that can't have the toilets open, isn't it? And I said, well, you know, the answer to that is yes, from a Ramsgate Town Council point of view, but from the other point of view, from my cabinet point of view, the answer to that is no. But anyway, that's beside the point. So the thing that I was concerned about was the cost. And, you know, it's a one-off event. As you say, it's a nighttime event. We've got security and the funding that we put there for the security because we would have to have that. Plus, though, that the same security company represent every bar in every bar and pub down on Harbour Parade. But I think as someone who's been to open air concerts, and I expect many of us have, you know, I went to a concert in August to see Michael Bublé in Hyde Park, and it was beautiful sunshine, lovely sunbathing weather, and then it came down. Then a big thunderstorm. He appeared. He was on stage, completely soaking wet. And but what I'm saying is, you take your chance, and there are a lot of mad people who love Eurovision and dress up and they date all that, and it's a great party atmosphere. So, you know, it's up to members to decide what you think is right. Councillor William, I'll come back to you.
I mean, I think, and the safety net here is that you've got, the likelihood is that a lot of businesses will have their TVs on inside as well. And in the lulls, people just go and get a drink and then come back. It's like half time at football. So I think our businesses, if we're going to turn our town around, then we need events. We need regular events to pull people into the town. And, you know, the Festival of Light did that, the idea of the town being light. And I just think we should go for it because it is a bit of a bonkers thing, Eurovision.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Councillor Critton.
I just wanted to add that I do broadly support us doing this because it is a one-off, and it is, and I do appreciate that there are some challenges around the times and other things, but I think we need to. You mentioned the businesses, and Laura, so did Laura. We do need some liaison with the businesses around that as well, and that will. So yeah, I just. And any other activities that we can have that support, as you said, in the lulls, that help to keep people backwards and forwards in the engagement.
Okay. Councillor Nixie, did you want to...
Me?
Did I get you wrong?
No, I didn't have my hand up, sorry, no.
Was it you, Dave?
It was me, I did.
It was you, Dave?
Easy mistake.
Easy, mate.
Well, the whole idea of back out, I think that would be quite wrong. I think perhaps we should try and organise some entertainment during the lulls. Maybe.
I mean, a band.
And yeah, that's what I meant.
Good.
But yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You could stream past winners
Hang on.
in the lulls.
Councillor Austin.
Yes, I was going to say pretty much the same as Councillor. I think it's a very good idea. I think we should take the chance now and as he said, you know, this is what we want to see happening here. But look at how we can provide something in the lull, and look at how we can provide maybe other stalls or wagons that will provide food, drink, etc., to supplement what the local offer is. Although the point of it is to support our local businesses, isn't it? I wanted to ask you about the toilets. Why can't we have the toilets?
Well, the facts of the matter are, is the cost of keeping them open late, and I am concerned, and always concerned, that we've had staff verbally abused and physically abused when you get the toilets open late. That worries me, and I can't. My thing for me is our staff.
The safety staff, right?
So, if someone wants to pee, they can go in the pub, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got Councillor Makinson.
Will the hoardings be down, the scaffolding around the clockhouse? No, there's to be there.
I don't know when that's down.
Yeah, and then presumably they would cooperate and move them back.
I just make a second, just in case.
I mean, that's something that we would need to talk to TDC about, because obviously we...
Yeah.
Councillor Green?
The paper says that TDC haven't responded to us yet.
Not yet, no. And that's all the part and parcel, is if we get... That's why we put in the forms for the event. We've yet to hear back from that, whether we can have that event. I can't see why not, provided we've got everything covered. And I think the one thing in there, Laura, is do we have to have specific insurance?
No, it is covered by our existing
It is
insurance.
covered by that. Okay, that's fine. That's the only question that I had, Laura. So, members. Hang on a minute. I'll take Councillor Schultz because he hasn't spoken yet.
I don't want to make a song and dance out of it, but are these businesses going to contribute towards our cost? Because they're going to be the ones that are going to be...
Well, we haven't. I mean, I think
There is one.
Rebecca has been talking to them. They may well do that. But that's something that I would leave in the hands of Rebecca, as she knows everybody, and you know, there might be a bit of arm.
Paper says Queen's Head Tory Towns will contribute.
There you go.
I did see in here,
0.6.
yeah,
Whether
okay.
RTC should take full responsibility for
No.
organising.
It was about one of incoming money from one of the bars around here.
That was for
Yeah.
own cost and then.
Yeah, I saw it. I can't find it quickly, but
Green's just said it.
I have a question. But
Well, go on then.
I just wanted to ask. The thought was whether or not there's any mileage in us recovering some of our costs through concessions, as long as it doesn't cut across the local businesses, as just something to put to.
Well, that's exactly what we're saying about. If someone wants to come down and use that, you know, I don't know how that works with TDC about the event. They come up, but if we're putting the event on, then they got to pay us to be there. That goes, and that will come.
Sorry, if I obviously missed that earlier. Then, if that was said before, my
A lot of space. Jim?
I was supposed to say, I would say that there's actually scope to get national press and actually TV, because if the our family are here, then they will be on TV.
I've already talked to the comms team at TDC, and they will support our view if this goes ahead. we will get the support from them, and we'll whack it out on everywhere we can, Meridian, wherever, BBC South East, and to get as much publicity as possible, and encourage people to come down in their normal. They'll be in their Union Jacks and they won't be reformed.
Actually, because I think actually that the actual BBC coverage could well be based on part of it.
Well, yeah, we could get someone. Anyway, so members, sorry, Councillor Huxley, sorry, I forgot you.
Get sponsorship from, say, Wetherspoons to sponsor the event.
I don't know, but I think that's something we.
Town Centre and Tourism Manager will be asking for
specific named sponsor. So Wetherspoons is a national company.
And then also the construction firm who've got their names on the hoarding at the moment.
Yeah. So we'll see, poor old Rebecca's got a hell of a lot of work, and it's not far away. I mean, that's the thing.
May, and
yes.
I'd like to see it happen.
It's not far. So members, if I propose that we go forward with this until we get to a point where we're seconded. Members all in favour, please show. Thank you. Let's hope it goes ahead.
I've got the European flags ready.
And the fish and chip shop will sponsor.
Yeah, maybe maybe Peter's Pizza do it.
No, the new one.
Oh, the new one. Yeah. Item 7, Operation Dynamo event 2026. This is to receive the written report from the town clerk. Members, thank you. From the town clerk. And the tourism manager, setting out the expenditure plan for Operation Dynamo. The council is asked to approve these costs, which are in that bit of paper. Town clerk.
Thank you, Chair. So there is a budget of £20,000 allocated for the Operation Dynamo event this year. This report is seeking to itemise and seek your approval for how that funding will be used. This would usually be something that would go to the Town Promotion Committee for approval, as it's one of their budgets. However, there are bills that are needing to be paid now. The stakeholders and community groups that we're working with need to know exactly what RTC's role is going to be. And so you've got an itemised list of expenses that comes to £20,000, and you're asked to approve whether this is how you would like the budget to be used.
Members, any comments? No, I mean, it's a great event and fully support it. Madam Mayor will be there.
Is he? Yes.
And I think you're shoving me down the cemetery, aren't you? You're shoving me down the cemetery, Madam Mayor, aren't you, or something? Or was that Armed Forces Day?
You are going to the cemetery.
Is that before or after?
Before.
Before. Oh, that's all right. I can come back down and after. Give it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, whatever. Councillor Nixon.
Can I just check, is this the one pot of money that we have for the event, and it's like, do we use it now? Is basically the question. So
It's in the budget.
yes, so what I'm saying is, would we have expenses further down the line that we might have to deal with later, or is that it?
Whole thing.
This is it.
It's covered.
Okay, that's what I assumed. I just wanted to check. And I just want to remind people again that, sorry, my head's really not on today. I'm absolutely full of cold. Do apologise. But last year's event, thank you, brought in so much goodwill for the area, for the town. It was outstanding. And so I really look forward to sort of like seeing this go ahead again this year. And, yeah. It'll be busy.
Okay, Councillor Crittenden.
Yeah, just to say, although this hasn't had the opportunity to go before the Town Promotion Committee, it's something that Rebecca and I have been discussing for some time, since last year basically, and so certainly got my approval.
Thank you. Suxley?
Well, I was saying that it's going to be an annual event. I think. We talked about that.
Great. If that's the case.
Maybe. This will be year 2, maybe.
What's happened in the past is that the boats do the anniversary event and they come back the following year. It hasn't been an annual event.
The next one will be the 90th. I suppose this is 80, so anyway. Councillor Wing?
I think obviously Kevin Finn and his committee are hoping that we can bring historic boats in on an annual basis that may not necessarily be Dunkirk little ships. So I think there's a lot of mileage in it, and we're lucky to have him in the town actually.
Members, I propose from the chair that we accept the report recommendations, seconded by Councillor Crittenden. All in favour, please show, members. Thank you, that's carried. Right, item 8, Radford House, to receive a written report from the Town Clerk and from Miss C. Clark, our project manager, providing various updates regarding Radford House to note and action. If I can just say before we just get into this, Town Clerk, the update. I met this morning online with Charlotte, our project manager, together with our agents who are dealing with the process of very productive meetings this morning. I'll be meeting with them on a monthly basis, and normally that's online, but we'll give you because we need to get in together and whatever. I have to say that we've been very fortunate to get Charlotte. I was very impressed with her this morning, and I know she's watching online. So, Charlotte, well done for this morning, and thank you. She's bright as a button and knows she's got a finger on the pulse, and she didn't let our agents get away with a damn thing. So that was really good. Town Clerk.
Right, thank you, Chair. So first off, you've got the draft plans for the technicians depot. Pre-application advice has been sought from TDC, and we're awaiting their formal response. I wouldn't suggest that we are possibly qualified to tell the technicians the layout of their depot. None of us are going to need to manoeuvre trailers and heavy lift around. So this is a plan that's been drafted by the design team in conjunction with the technicians, and I think is using the most modest possible materials. So it's based around with storage containers and a porta cabin. We know that this is not going to be a long-term solution for the outside area of a listed building, but we're expecting this to be acceptable to TDC as a temporary arrangement up to 3 years, which I think will work well, given that possibly in 3 years' time with the local government reorganisation, we will be looking at possibly a different arrangement in relation to the technicians. So the plan is that as soon as we have the hopefully positive sign-off from TDC, that the design team will submit the planning application for that. Next strand is the external works, and you're asked to approve the schedule of works for public tender. It could well be that there are still things within this list that might be beyond the budget, but I think actually going to tender, getting real world costs, it's time. So you're asked to consider that information and approve going to tender. I should note though that the final content, who's going to be appointed, what their costs are, will be coming to you for approval. This is just approval for...
Go forward.
That's it. Do members want to take these individually, or should I just keep going?
No, just keep going.
I've set out the procurement position. This was actually just to make sure that the urban designer are familiar with how we need to operate, and as a reminder to yourselves. The third strand is going to be the internal works, and I think there are still some questions, and it'll be essential to freeze the design. I think the plan is that in a couple of weeks' time there's an asset management committee meeting, which you're all members of. That I think that's going to be the one that you'll receive information from the project manager, from the design team on the areas where there's some questions, to really set out, these are the problems, these are the pros and cons, these are the possible solutions, which will then allow us to freeze the design and then go to tender for internal works. The next items in the report, it's to note that we've now moved over from having an external company for building control to using TDC's building control. There's a note about, I think there's money to be saved, and actually a slight, possibly better arrangement by keeping the current front gate arrangement.
Yeah.
And then also 2 notes on things which I don't want to say are raising alarm bells, but there are some unknowns. But again, I think we'll know more for either asset management committee meeting or April's council, and it's regarding the external fire escape and the tunnel across the rear car park.
And just to advise that following this morning's meeting, Charlotte is meeting with urban design in relation to the tunnels, and they will be visiting that with an engineer, and so they'll be able to see what needs to be done. Obviously, I know where they are, and I've looked down it, but I've not been down it. But I'm not sure how safe it is. So that needs to be done, and it's the same with the fire escape. It's not the main bulk of the structure that's the problem. It's where they go. The struts go into the building, and whether they needed to come out and be put further down. So, but that's something that we will look at, obviously, with that. So, yeah, Councillor Green.
I'm just a bit concerned from a budget point of view. We've got one budget for this whole project. Separating the external and internal and arrangements.
Yeah.
We have got to be aware that we've only got one budget for the whole project. So when we agree what we're doing outside, which the public won't really appreciate, could impact on how much we've got to make the inside look smart, where the public will see it.
Yeah, what I can advise is that Charlotte's already raised that matter was discussed this morning about the budgets, and they know how much the budget is, and I think what you need to do, Councillor Green, is to separate the outside needs to be done first, because we're obviously watertight doors, windows, and all of those, and then once we have the tenders for those, and then it's nothing, as Laura said, then we go out to tender for the internal works, but we're hoping that that's just mainly decoration than anything specific in there. So I'm quite satisfied with it, but of course, David, that's a word of caution is always welcome. because we should take that on board and we have to. I mean, there isn't a way out of that. So members, anybody else, any comments? I think we're doing the right thing. Members will have their say on every single matter of finance. I think that's the important thing as well when it comes back. The two of you went, Councillor Austin.
I just wondered whether there might be grants of any kind that we could apply for either the external or the internal work.
I do think that's something that Charlotte would be considering.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, can I just go, Councillor Green, you had your hand up again? You sure? Okay.
In response to Councillor Austin, I think external and internal works is going to be difficult to get a grant for, but I think, and it's mentioned in another agenda item, possibly linking to accessibility.
Yes.
The lift, yeah. Or possibly energy efficiency.
Green energy, yes.
Where there might be
about earlier in the climate change meeting. Yeah. Great, thank you.
Oh, and we've got two at the same time there. Councillor Shonk.
Is that just to be noted, or are we talking about the cost of action?
No, there are some to be noted. Okay, which is item 2 to be noted. Item 3 to be noted.
Do you want me to go through?
That's all right. That's all right, Robert. Item 5 to be noted, and item 6 to be noted, and it includes, but the one that isn't is item 2. Yeah, and the recommendation is to approve the schedule of works. So that is that's the main thing. The rest is to note, approve the schedule if you're so minded to do so. Councillor Nixie.
I propose that we approve the schedule of works.
Do you have a seconder?
Sorry, I didn't.
To approve.
Oh, well, I had my hand up a long.
Oh, so beg your pardon, sorry, I got overtaken.
All I wanted to say was that whatever the vote is, I will abstain tonight because I could only get into my reports just before I came out, and I simply did not have time to read them, so it's no reflection on.
No, but did you not understand anything that was going on in the conversation that could you?
Yes, but I can't relate it to anything that's read, and it's all just gone.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say it's no reflection.
To you, Councillor Crittenden, how you vote.
On what's here, but I haven't read the report, so that's all.
Councillor Green.
Hopefully the external works won't be too we've spent a lot of money on the external stuff already.
When you think about it, you've got the front doors, the back door, and the windows that some may need to be replaced, others might not. There's some external kind of, I'll use the word loosely, plumbing that would need to be resolved. Rainwater goods and stuff like that, yeah. So I think with those it's not massive, but the other thing that we asked this morning, an actual fact Charlotte asked, not me, she asked our agents, with the Iran war, is the cost of materials going up?
Yeah.
And there was confirmation that yes, they are. But the other question was, then should we be looking at what we need to buy now? But and the answer to that was no, because it will not be until you know exactly what it is you want. You could be buying stuff you don't want,
but you don't.
So that just made sense, and we're all in it.
President Trump told me it's nearly over.
Oh, it's nearly over. Yeah.
The Iranians disagree.
Do you mean Nigel Farage didn't sort it out with him? I don't know. Things are going downhill, aren't they? So, members, we have a proposal. Is there a seconder, please? Yes. Councillor Austin, all those in favour, please show. That's carried. Sorry, Councillor.
Abstain, thank you.
You're abstaining, Councillor.
And I've already said, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, members. Well, item 9, Ramsgate Pride and Place project. We receive a written report from the town clerk asking the council to consider and confirm which, if any, projects should be submitted to the PIP board for funding. And please note the PIP board is not inviting applications at the time of this agenda being issued, but this is expected in the spring. I'm going to go to town clerk and then I'm going to ask Councillor if he wishes to come in on that.
Thank you, Chair. So we're aware that in April the Pride in Place programme is going to officially launch. This does not mean that we're ready to open for suggestions and projects and ideas, but it will be coming in the coming months. I understand that to begin with they need to do more research, more kind of trying to drill down on how the priorities and objectives can be delivered. Also, I think if you just ask everyone for ideas, they'll have £100 million worth of ideas coming in. So they'll need to somehow kind of figure out what the scoring is going to be, what the priorities are going to be. But there is 2 ideas that the council has previously mentioned could be suitable for PIP funding, and this is to ask if and when the proposals are invited, if these are suitable, are these 2 ideas that you want me to get on with working up? And it's for funding towards the provision of probe security, or well, security officers. And the other one is installation of a lift at Radford House, which, subject to decisions by the PIP board, I think could be two ideas, 2 projects that they might like.
Councillor Austin?
The probe security or security officers be eligible, because aren't we looking primarily at capital projects here or not?
20%, 80% capital.
Right, okay.
Any other members? Councillor Green?
Yeah, it's a huge challenge, isn't it? Because they're both issues that are of considerable importance and of interest to our residents. I think it's asked at the end on the recommendations, initial indications, so providing it meets the PIP board's expectations, etc. I think my leaning is towards the town centre security, but I also fully appreciate the need to comply with meeting disabled needs, and I would hope that funding for that might be available elsewhere, perhaps rather than this. But my concern with the probe security is whether or not it will meet the eligibility criteria. So, but that's my leaning anyway. That's my card out.
So, can I ask, Councillor?
Yeah, the town clerk is correct. The board won't be calling for projects at the launch or immediately after the launch. What the plan is to do is to look at the 5 broad topics that the consultation decided were the town's priority, and look at what could be done to enhance each of those 5 themes, and also to consider what we would like to do, how it could be delivered. So there's time. We won't be asked to put projects forward straight away. Yes. What will happen once that work has been done is that we will then be in a position to agree projects within those 4 or 5 themes for the first 4 years of the fund. To be delivered during the first 4 years of the fund. So you've got to bear that timing in mind, that we don't get all the funds straight away. It's 2 million a year for 10 years. So, yeah, we need to bear that in mind. But I can't see why both of these projects wouldn't comply. The lift and possibly the fire escape as well are not just to make it compliant, but also they're essential to open up the first and second floor, because unless we have that access through a lift, everybody has to go through the main hall to get to the stairs. So we need that, and we could argue that the first and second floors could be used by the community, and also to provide some start-up employment spaces for residents and young people.
Members, anybody else speak? Councillor Frosty.
Again, I just wanted to float the idea that if we find that the Harbour Road scheme is not able to be funded from the remainder of the levelling up money, that we bear in mind the possibility of putting that forward for funding through the Pride in Place, because at the end of the day, thank you, because at the end of the day, that is going to make the biggest difference to the prosperity of the town.
Well, I mean, just to go off key slightly, the meeting this morning that I had at the Harbour, and it's amongst all of the, it was headed by obviously the Harbour Master, and I was there, obviously Rick was there, and because we're responsible he's the head and I'm the second, and we're responsible for whatever problems arise within the harbour and the port. The whole cabinet is. And what we were told this morning is that KCC have put a width restriction within the tunnel without telling us. So they haven't notified TDC about a width restriction. So that will cause problems, and it just beggars belief that they wouldn't tell us.
Told us.
No consultation, no nothing. That's it. Because otherwise, for things that may happen there or whatever, let's just say the council does this fish thing, we allow that. That's all done. Then the lorries or anything that they got taken the fish would have to come through military road, and it's just not. It's not meant for that. It's not meant for that. So I think that there are issues around everything as to whether that money for the roads. That's why I mentioned it, because of the issues that we may have on the roads. But I think we just got to take that as it comes. Councillor Wing.
Steve, I go through the tunnel sometimes, and I went through last week. So there's no additional physical width restriction in that tunnel. There's nothing new in that tunnel. So is it just a sign that's slapped up? I will go and have a look. I mean, the consequences for...
There's no sign. I went through it today.
No, I mean, there isn't. It's because we haven't known about it. The first thing that Rick and I knew was what we were told by one of the members, by one of the businesses there.
So how do you know not to take something through that tunnel which is too wide?
I don't know what they were going to have to come out. They're going to have to come out. KCC Highway is going to have to come out with some regulations in relation to it. What we're hoping is that it doesn't affect any vehicles. It would only be an extra wide vehicle.
It's really interesting, because the sea-link stuff will come through our port.
Well, exactly.
And if they've got a width restriction, then it isn't going to go anywhere.
They'll come by sea, won't they?
It would come by sea, but we've had transformers. Go through there, and everything's had to be in the ceiling paperwork.
But I'll just say, these things are sent to give us the right ump and to try and sort it out, with KCC, and they are a nightmare. And the sooner we get rid of KCC, and go to a unitary authority, the better. No disrespect to our councillor.
Of course, I don't want that.
It needs to be done, so everybody knows what's going on. Members, to get back to the BIP.
Can I have a word? A couple of years ago, Cannons had a huge boat to take through that tunnel. I think they closed the tunnel off and had a vehicle in long, wide load.
Yeah.
So it can be done. And for years we sat here, and as KCC, who do their best, whatever people say, whoever runs it, we've always said if they repair that tunnel, they should do it at night times, not during the day. But I still notice they still close that tunnel during the daytime.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
They ain't got to put lights on. But anyway, can we get back to this, please? And members, does anybody want to make a proposal at all?
Propose that we try to put both forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both issues?
Yeah.
That we develop both issues.
Yeah. I'll second that. All in favour, please show. That's carried. Thank you, members.
Yes.
Item 10. I read this wrong at first because I thought it said my Watchful, and I thought, what's he talking about, my Watchful? Didn't have my glasses on. MV Watchful is to receive a progress update from the town clerk and consider the information contained therein relating to a marine survey and an examination of records. Over to the town clerk. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Chair. So the MV Watchful was introduced to you as an idea at the last council meeting. The proposal is that she's a Dunkirk little ship who is on the market and could come and live in Ramsgate as an attraction, including museum and cafe. In my report, you've got more information about what's involved in a marine survey and an examination of records. And the members of the community who are championing this project agree that this is the foundation documents that are needed. Because if it was discovered that she needs £300,000 worth of repairs, or over the next 10 years there's very expensive things that need to be undertaken, that is possibly beyond the enthusiasm that people have for the project. And so before starting to think about, well, is there going to be a charity? How's she going to be operated? How's the cafe going to be managed? These are the starting blocks. There is a suggestion from the current owner that the local slipway is available in mid-April, and that a previous surveyor who's worked on the boat could be commissioned to do the work. The surveyor is suitably qualified and has appropriate indemnity insurance. I think putting her into a slipway near where she is makes sense. Unfortunately, we still haven't had the quote from the surveyor for this work. And so I'd either say that, first of all, should Ramsgate Town Council fund this investigative work, which I think could be in the region of £8,000, and attempt to have this work undertaken in mid-April when there is availability in the slipway, or wait for the detailed quote from the surveyor and then reconsider this matter, and possibly miss the opportunity in April, or decline to take this any further.
Members, I know what I think, but I want to hear what you think. Councillor Driver?
Yes, I just like to say that I think it's something that's obviously would be beneficial to Ramsgate, but I don't think that we ought to actually commit to spending that kind of money on it. Certainly now.
Anybody else? Councillor Graham?
I'm in favour of the Town Council supporting this project as far as being suggested at the moment, with no commitment. beyond that. It links to the museum opening. It is important, and it links to the Dynamo Day anniversaries that we celebrate. And I think this one has every chance of being self-sustaining once the work has been done and it's installed in the house. I'm in favour of this limited amount of 8,000 to put us in a position to understand.
Thank you. Councillor Crittenden.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fantastic if this boat could be in Ramsgate. Given that what we know about the experience of trying to develop a building, I do have my doubts about whether or not we should be the owners, but I would certainly want to support it being here. And I think as much as we can do to help this progress, I would like to see happening. So I do support what Councillor Green has just said. But I think apart from that, we should be walking with quite a lot of caution. You know, who would run it? Because obviously we're not going to. We would need to lease it out to someone to run it. There's all those complexities. If we did take it on, I would love that we could afford to, and I would love that we had everything in place that we could do that. But there are challenges. But I would support.
Before I come to you, Councillor Wing, I'm not particularly in favour. I understand the history and everything like that, and that's great. But I don't think this council should take that on at all. And the reason this has come to us through other people who want this.
Oh, appreciate that.
And they want us to do it. They are doing nothing, and then they want to be part of it, but there's no money. There's no money coming forward from there. So that's what concerns me, that we will be spending our ratepayers' money on a boat, whatever it is, but on a boat, and so that concerns me. But I'm not against investigating up to a point.
I think that's where I think Councillor Green's coming from, and I'm supporting Councillor Green. Support this as we can, but the final ownership.
Prove that it's sale worthy or whatever it's called, and that. Then what's going to happen? I mean, so anyway.
Then it's over to somebody else.
Then it's over. Yeah, indeed. I've got Councillor Wing.
Councillor Austin was before me.
Oh, was she? Oh, sorry, I didn't say you, Councillor Austin.
I just wanted to pick up on what you were saying, Chair, and what Councillor Crittenden was saying. I don't think it's fair to say these people are doing nothing. I think they've made the contact and they're making the links with the Operation Dynamo. They're not in a position to put any funding in at this point, but presumably they will be involved in raising funds and helping work out, if we think this is feasible, work out a mechanism by which the thing can be operated when it's here.
I wasn't deriding those people.
It sounded a little bit like it.
Well, I wasn't deriding those people. But what I was saying is the truth.
Yes.
And that is the base of it.
Yeah.
You know, whether they contacted.
We're the ones with the budget.
We're the ones who are asking. We're the people with our public's money.
I would support going ahead and getting the initial work done and see where we are with that, and then reviewing it, because I do think it's got loads of potential. But as Councillor Crittenden said, it's a long way. There's a lot of decisions to be made along the way.
Councillor Schultz?
It was me.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I also think this group has already brought more Dunkirk little ships into an event than we've ever had in the history of Dunkirk little ships since they went out initially. So if you, I mean, I've taken pictures of the Broadstairs lifeboat, which was brought in under UKIP by Councillor Brim, and it's sat in the port and rotted. So we definitely don't want a situation like that where we could be responsible for a boat that is a historic boat, and that is a historic boat, is to be left to rot, and there isn't an organisation behind it. But there is an organisation behind this, and I think the group are about to sort of set themselves up charity status so that they can pursue funding. So if it was any old historic boat and any old group that had approached us, it's not. It's a group that have already proven themselves with one of the best events we've ever had, that they can bring boats into here. It's part of our heritage. It's a boat that is already seaworthy. It could have come out here under its own steam. And I think, did it come last? It came last year. But I also believe we need to proceed with caution because it is a boat and you might set light to money if you own a boat. So I would support the 8,000 to get a bit more work, and then I would also ask that we approach the group back to see what they're doing to set themselves up to seek future funding.
I think we should just make ourselves clear where the bottom line is as far as spending our residents' money. Councillor Sean?
It's a wonderful idea, but I don't think we should be spending £8,000 on it. I think we should scupper the idea, because if it's... Right. I think it's a good idea, but I think we should scupper that idea. Boats are very expensive. I mean, £8,000. That's
okay.
my thoughts.
Thank you. Councillor Nixie and then Councillor Huxley after Councillor Nixie.
I think I'd be very happy to support it if the group being set up as a charity first and then as a group, so that we knew who was dealing with it, who the ownership was, we were supporting them, and so on and so forth. Because at the moment there's this middle, well, there's a bit of an abyss where they'd like it, there's this boat, there's us with money and so on and so forth. There's no net of safety underneath it. So if that group set themselves up as a charity and then came to us and asked for money for a project and so on and so forth, I think it would be fantastic, and I'd be definitely one of the people who would be suggesting this, let's put some money towards this for the little ships because they've done a fantastic job, etc., etc. As it stands at the moment, I'm not quite sure.
Thank you. Councillor?
I'd like to ask about the quote from Joss Thompson of the 17th of March. I don't really understand. Is this for the owner? So why would we have to pay for jet wash of the boat, etc.?
So this is the cost, this is the local slipway.
Right.
In order to survey the hull, and this is going around doing a sonic survey every few feet of the entire hull, it needs to be cleaned first.
So they're proposing that RTC would take that cost. So the jet wash and the standing days, so that's the sort of and the slip, and to go on the slipway, presumably.
The actual cleaning would be done by the local volunteers who are part of this project in Redcar.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think
Members?
Chair, I think it's a bit of a bottomless pit, really. I mean, I agree with Councillor Nixon in that maybe they should set up a charity.
I'm of the same opinion, but however, we have a recommendation. Is there a proposal of the recommendation? Councillor Green, is there a seconder? Councillor Wynne, you have?
Yes,
Sorry, go back, Councillor Wynne. Thank you. So members, all in favour of that, please show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those against? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm abstaining.
And one abstention. So that leaves me as the chair with.
So you have an original, your original vote, and then if needed, a casting vote.
A casting vote.
Taking further comments, Chair?
I wasn't, no.
Okay.
Not after, as we've just taken the thing. Unless you've got something you think
I was
would...
just going to say, we've just approved 10k for an event, 20k for another event, which are here today, gone tomorrow, frankly. This is potentially something for the whole heritage of Ramsgate forevermore.
Well, I don't want to open this debate up again, right? So, just for history's sake, I'm going to go with the proposal.
Right.
So I'm going to go with that. So let's spend that bit of money, and then let's see what comes out of it. But that's it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, we need to make it clear.
And we'll make it clear that is it. Okay. So that's That's carried. Thank you, members. Right, item 11. Members, please, you need to move on. I have a home to go to. Item 11, committee minutes. To note the following committee minutes for approval by the respective committees. 1, Planning and Infrastructure Committee, 4th of March 2026. And item 2, Annual Town Meeting, 11th of March 2026. Members, any comments on those minutes? No, I propose the minutes. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Austin, all in favour, please show. Thank you, that is carried. Right, item 12, updates from councillors, updates from council's representatives on outside bodies. Short verbal updates are invited from members. Updates received can only be noted. Any members got any comments on any outside bodies? Councillor Green's obviously...
Pride in place, just briefly, we've now got a permanent chair, Bernie Morgan. Some of you at least will know she's lived in the town for at least 20 years to my knowledge. Used to be my next door neighbour. Very good chair. She's chaired one meeting already. It went well. As has been said, there's going to be a launch. It's been called a launch, but it's not really a launch. It's a continuation.
It's not another boat, is it?
It's a continuation of the process. I can't remember the day in April now, but it's towards the end. 19th of April.
Payday.
You're all invited. It's at the St George's Church.
Yeah.
And I hope you can all make it.
Yeah, indeed.
Finally, our overall plan for how we're going to organise the whole thing has been approved by the government.
Fantastic. Yeah. Leading the way, may I say.
Yes,
leading the way, may I say. And thank you, Councillor Green, for all your contributions in that. Members, that's just for noting. All right. Nobody else then. I shall close that particular item. And to take us on to item 13, which is a confidential item. So any residents or anybody else online are going to have to close you down, as this is in relation to refers to business which could affect other people. So in conjunction with the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, as extended, public access accredited representatives of newspapers, although we never get newspapers these days, be excluded from the meeting and the following items of business and that. So, and the item of business is to receive a report from the town clerk and consider how to proceed with the freehold market value. So we'll turn that off.